Wait, chef, you mean to tell me there's more kitchen slang? Oh yeah. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the part 2 edition of Kitchen Slang Explained. So some of you sent me comments concerning about some of the words that were in question in regards to the kitchen slang, and I want to enlighten you and give you a little bit more explanation and to add a couple of more words to your arsenal so that when you are working in the kitchen or working in a restaurant industry, you know exactly what you're doing and saying. So one of the words that I got probably confused with a lot of people is the word sell. Now, believe it or not, this has actually nothing to do with trying to sell an item that you want to push in your restaurant. Really, the word sell means the food is completed, it's plated, it's cooked, is in the past, it is about to be run to the table, therefore the plate is sold. It has absolutely nothing to do with the front of the house, meaning of the front of the house trying to sell a plate of food. So when I say a plate of food has already been sold, that tells the expediter or the head chef that I have already completed that plate of food, put it on the pass, and most importantly, the food runner or the server sold the plate, meaning it has already exited the kitchen and heading out to the floor, which is the dining room for those who want to review. So hopefully that will fix and hopefully that will demystify that word. So there was a couple of ones that I forgot, and it's actually a very common one. So if I am going around a cook and the cook is like very busy or like, you know, has a sharp knife in doing their prep, you always want to be very courteous and say behind you, meaning I'm coming behind you, don't make any sudden movements or don't turn around. This is a very important one, especially if you're in a very tight kitchen or you're in a kitchen that is constantly moving. So always remember that if someone says behind you, the best thing to do is stay in place, don't move. Sometimes you can augment that word behind you with hot, meaning I have something hot that I'm coming behind you with. It could be a pot of water, it could be a hot plate. Another word that is usually coincides with behind you is knife or sharp. This basically means I have a sharp knife or I have a knife behind you. So if you say behind sharp or behind knife, that basically tells you stay where you are, don't move. And one of the nicer ways of saying you messed this dish up is basically telling the cook, hey, the next plate, let's plate it together. This basically see what is the issue. The chef can help correct the issue, and most importantly, it is a teaching moment for the young cooks so that they can understand how things are in the industry. If you recall the last time I used the word fire, basically means prepare to finish this plate and serve it on the pass. Sometimes you might get a word meaning refire. It's basically a nicer way of saying cook it on the fly. Speaking of the pass, another word for pass is also the window is a heated area that keeps not only items warm, but the chef or expediter can do the final checks on the item before it is served. Another word for a refrigerator is a walk-in, because it's basically a refrigerator that you can walk in. Mostly this is for your perishable items like your fruits, vegetables, some seafood or proteins, and also then you have a freezer. When you think of certain tables, we always call them a top or covers. So for example, if a ticket comes in and it's a table of 4, then the chef will probably say a 4 top or 4 covers. Normally, if it's a 2 top, we would call it a deuce. Sometimes you would hear a foretop would be a quad. I'm not sure why, but that's a very common one. If I ask a cook to get me a 6-pan or a 9-pan, that's basically the dimension of the pan that I will need. Now, when you look at some of these pans, for example, if you think of a layout of a traditional steam table per se, you would be able to put 9 pans in one steam table, or 3 pans in each steam table, or 6 pans in a steam table. Also, sometimes the indication is on the pan itself. It would probably say 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 9. Now, there are also half pans and there are also 4 pans. When you hear the words, I need a 2-inch hotel pan. So the hotel pan is basically the size of what a steam table would look like. I'm not sure really the dimensions, but I will follow up with you on that. So for example, if you need a 2-inch hotel pan, the pan will be 2 inches in depth. Same thing with a 4 or a 6 or 8-inch pan. Sometimes it's usually called a 200 pan or a 400 pan or 800 pan, meaning it can hold 200 ounces of liquid. Just a very simple example of how to break it down. When you think of a Cambro, you're thinking of a plastic container with the lid that is used to store perishable items. Now, mind you, Cambro is a very popular name brand that is used for insulated containers and also plastic containers. Matter of fact, I will show you one. So this right here is a Cambro. This is a 4-quart Cambro because clearly you can see that it can hold up to 4 quarts of liquid an item. Now, Cambro is the name brand, if you guys can see that. Cambro is a very popular name brand. Now, they have many different sizes. Now, this is a soft plastic. They also have a hard plastic as well. And they also have insulated containers that can be used for catering or for hot hold. We call a hot hold box, we call it a hot box. Basically, it's there to keep stuff warm. In essence, you can also use it as a cold box, a cold insulated container. We normally don't call it a cold box per se. We usually just call it an ice box. Very simple. And the last type of container that is a popular name brand is called Lexan. Lexan. So this is basically a deeper container used to store items, possibly marinate items, and it has a not a sealable lid, but a lid to secure the items so there will be possible no cross-contamination as well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight about Kitchen Slang Explained Part 2. Hey, thanks for watching. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications to see future content and other episodes from my sister channel, The Life of JL, which is basically a personal vlog of what's going on in my life outside of the culinary world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.